What's going on, chess lover? This is Maurice Bishop, and y'all know my slogan: "Life is a game of chess." All right, guys, I want to share with y'all a game that I played against a strong 22-27. Um, Obviously, getting my rating back up. I'm finally playing, how I want to and things like that. So eventually, I'll get my 2300 back. Well, right now 2200, but eventually I'll get back to my 2300 and all. So guys, what I want to share with y'all is the Elshad, the dangerous Elshad system opening and everything. So I definitely want to show y'all this game. I think y'all enjoy it. Of course, my first move is C3. That's pretty much where I go. D5, and this is pretty much like 90% of the players, um, or maybe 80% of the player will play D5. Some may play E5 as well, but I see a lot of people play D5 a lot, you know. So I'll go Queen A4 check and Knight C6. So for all y'all that don't know, um, a lot of people would play Bishop D7, but after Queen B3, now this pawn is undefended, and then by you going or by your opponent going B6, you'll drop the pawn on D5 as well, which is pretty bad for black, and then if you defend with Bishop C6, now this will become a inactive bishop because of um, he's pretty much bound to just protect just the D5 pawn and the B7 pawn, and then after D4, um, I believe white is good in this position because this light square bishop is pretty much stuck there in an awkward position trying to defend and everything. So it's pretty crazy. So the person played a good move, knight c6. Knight c6 was played, and then I go d3. And of course, y'all know the whole move on d3, knight b to d2, h3, g4, and bishop g2. For all y'all that don't really know too much about the Elshad system, you can actually go on my channel and look at my playlist. I have a whole bunch of Elshad system, especially I have a few that goes into depth of what it does. So for all y'all that are interested in playing it, definitely check it out. Um, All right, so knight f6 is played, h3 is played, e5, and then g4. So when g4 is played, obviously we play g4 because we want to do a pawn storm on the king side. Obviously he's not castle on the king side yet, but if for some reason the black king wanted to castle on the queen side, because we have the c3 pawn already here, we could eventually do another pawn storm with b4. So that's why I like this system because you can get your opponent on both sides, especially if they are not familiar with this type of opening. So bishop b7, bishop g2, bishop e6, and then knight b to d2. Black castles. Now, of course, guys, um, the engine's going to always say go pawn e4 to grab the center, and and to be honest with y'all, this kind of almost transformed into almost the black lion. The only difference is the bishop, when you play the black lion, the bishop is never on bishop g2, it's always on bishop e2. And another thing is this queen is usually on c2 to sustain the strong pawn on e4. So don't think that's familiar with it. It's because it's almost like the same formation, but also again, this bishop is not on g2; it's always on bishop e2. So yes, this is an L shot, and that's pretty much what we're sticking with. But I think I played a few games where I still won. I just transformed it, just went to e4 just to experiment with it, and my game was pretty nice with it. The only difference is when playing strong opponents, this light square bishop becomes pretty inactive, so I had to switch my bishop to f1 to e2 in order to do some attacks. So that's how that goes. But for all y'all that's asking why we don't want to go e4 anyway, well, the whole point of not going to e4 because eventually we want to go g5, and then eventually bring this queen over to a kingside attack. That's the whole point of queen a4, so he can switch over which is what your opponent don't really know about. So I go knight f1, knight fd7. Um, Another thing that's pretty kind of it's pretty kind of crazy, guys. I did see g5, the g5 move, just sacking a pawn, because if he takes, you could take back too. Well, nah, I wouldn't go g5. Never mind, guys, I wouldn't do it. But the whole point, of g5 is I want to go here, but I probably would have to go knight f3 first, just so, like for instance, I'm gonna show y'all. If I go g5, right, and he takes, um, if I take back and queen catches, now he's hitting my bishop on g2, and then by me trying to go bishop at 3, you know, he got knight c5, and then if he comes here, uh, this knight on this knight on g1 becomes very inactive. I have no squares to move, so I literally would have to push on h4 and try to get knight h3, and that's not the type of position you want. And here, black will get some play. So always be mindful of where your pieces can move at. Definitely look into that. All right. So knight g3 is what I played. Rook e8, knight f3. Ooh, too fast, guys. Knight f3, bishop f8, and then I go knight g5. Now, the whole point of knight g5 is we want to take this light square bishop. If we can take this light square bishop, then we can start creating light square weaknesses. For all y'all don't know, when you're playing the Elshad as black or whatever, you want to get rid of white's dark square bishop, because usually white will cast on the king side and you want to create dark square weaknesses. But in this case, since we're playing white, we want to get the light square bishop. So just think about it. That's a principle for y'all to remember. If you're white, if you're playing as white, try to get rid of the light square bishop. If you're black, you want to get rid of the dark square bishop. All right. So my opponent goes knight b6, as he should, because in this position, he was well aware of that. He can't give up this light square bishop, which is why he went knight b6, getting a tempo on my queen. I go queen c2, and then bishop c8. Queen b3 wasn't a bad move at all either. I just want to show y'all real quick. With queen b3, I wouldn't have to worry about d4, because I could take this light square bishop off. But even if he does come back, I do have threats like a4, threatening a5, and then winning the pawn on d5. So that's some other stuff, some other options. All right, guys. So after bishop c8, I go rook g1. The whole point is, I want to get the g file towards this king, which is the point. F6 is played because he want to kick my knight back. I go knight f3, bishop e6. He pretty much plays that move twice, so I want to punish him for it. So I go g5. Now, there's other moves that could have been played that probably would have been a little bit better. I did like knight h4 just to get to knight f5, and then maybe push h4 and then g5. I think that would have been, I actually recommend this actually better, guys. You can play g5, and which is what I play too, but I do like knight h4. It just, to me it's way better, because I have the options going knight h5, knight f5, and then in some cases I'll also go knight h5, in some cases, but obviously not now because of g6. But like I said, y'all can look at a lot of my games on my playlist and y'all see like certain moves and everything. All right, so so as I play g5, I play g5. My opponent played f5. I go h4, and then he goes d4. I think, and again, because he don't really know this opening or whatever that much, I think the best move probably would have been f4. I think f4 would have been the best move, because then I technically would have to go back. Now h5 wouldn't be that good of a move because of bishop f7. Even if I try to sack, it's not going to really work. because even after this and bishop h3, king h8, um, it doesn't work at all, guys. It doesn't work at all. He's pretty much well defended. I don't have that many pieces that I can really attack yet, so that wouldn't work. Um, all right, so f5, h4, d4, and then this is when I go knight h5 now. You know, um, and honestly, and this is what he did though. He did go f7. He definitely went f7, but I did knight g3, so I just went back to knight g3 because now this pawn becomes weak, so I'm hitting this pawn now. And the good thing about this, if he decides to push on g6, I can go h5. He can't take because of knight captures f5, and like I said, if he doesn't take at all, the whole point that we want to do is we want to take anyway, so that we can switch our rook to the h file and cause some havoc on his king. So these are some ideas that I want y'all to I want to get y'all thinking about. All right. All right. So after bishop f7, knight g3, my opponent goes knight d5. All right, and then I go knight captures f5. My opponent goes bishop g6. Um, whoops, too fast, guys. Knight f5, bishop g6, bishop h3. Of course, the engine wanted me to go back, but again, when you're playing an Elshad system, the engine is not going to really agree with every move and everything, and it may say that black will have a winning advantage or whatever, or a decisive advantage, but in reality, that's not the case. So, which is why I like playing this, because it's very different and it's very awkward, and it just not something that you see every day. But I go bishop h3. Obviously, the bishop's not going to take that because, again, if I take his light square bishop, again, I will be creating some light square weaknesses on his king. So my opponent did some tactics on me, guys. So my opponent goes d catches c3, I take his pawn, and then he goes knight catches c3. Now, guys, should I take the knight or no? Is it a good move to take or no? Give y'all 3 seconds to think about it. All right, guys. Me taking this knight will be bad because of bishop b4. He wins my queen, and black would definitely win this game. All right, so I didn't take his knight. Now, if y'all want to say what's the best move and everything, so there's options. So I could go a3 to stop this from bishop b4, especially since I'm threatening his knight. Or there's other moves of bishop b2 I can do as well, so that can also do. But I did something different, guys. I did something different. You gotta think, and this is like bullet chess, so obviously you gotta think pretty fast and stuff. So, like I said, I see a lot of things very quickly. So I decided to go queen b3. Now, remind you, um, the best move in this position after queen b3 would have been just a regular, uh, maybe king h8. Maybe king h8 playing here, or maybe queen d5. Queen d5 would have been a great move. Would have been the best move, actually. But my opponent did a blunder. My opponent did bishop f7. So, guys, what is the move that I do in this position? What is the best move? What is the winning move in this position? I gave y'all 3 seconds to think about it. All right, guys. So if y'all saw this move, knight a6, you are correct, man. Y'all seeing his shots very quick. The reason why knight a6 is good, because even if he decides to go king h8, I have knight captures f7 check, and then it's king g8, then knight h6 check with a double check with the queen and the knight, and then if he comes here, then of course y'all already know this is checkmate. But of course, my opponent didn't allow me to do that. He decided to take my knight. and then I go G captures H6 check, and then after he goes King H8, then that's when I go Queen captures F7, and this is pretty much a lost situation after this. Because the last move that he did is Bishop captures A6, because he knew I was threatening mate here, and then I go Bishop captures A6, and then after that he resigned. Now, why did he resign? Because there's nothing that he can do to stop this mate on G7. Even if you go Queen E7, I have Bishop G7 checkmate. If he decides to go Rook G8, I still have Bishop G7 check, and then of course if he takes, this is mate. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video of the dangerous Elshad system. Like I said, if y'all want to know more about this opening, you can definitely check out my playlist. I have numerous of games in that playlist that y'all can check out for yourself, especially if y'all want to in-depth about this opening. Definitely check that out. And definitely like and comment, share on this game if you have to. And also, guys, don't forget to subscribe. All right, guys. Peace.